Before we begin, I just want to establish some changes between how we played last season versus this one. Since Season 1, the Monster of the Week system has had some upgrades that we'll be adopting for this campaign. These aren't major, mostly they serve to help clarify and expand on things, such as better defining hold and allowing hunters to change their weird move from use magic to something else from a given list. So if you notice some minor changes and or new information that comes up during a session, just know it's from this new updated version of Monster of the Week.
Hell yeah, Season 2, baby!
Season 2! Can I get an eagle screech in the chat? Thank you, Drew.
That one kind of hurt a little bit.
Trev, can you kick off this season with a little ditty that I'm putting you on the spot for completely?
Does it have to be copyright free?
Yes.
Go Kirkland brand, much like we did last season.
I once put a cheese in my mouth. Oh,
You hurt yourself today.
How clean do I have to be?
Not at all.
Oh,
On a scale of 1 to 10, a 6.
When you put the milk in a bottle.
Explicit tag is already assumed, I believe.
Yeah, I've still been struggling to figure out how, to describe our sense of humor to my coworkers when they ask what the podcast is about. Because they're like, it's D&D. Like, can I watch it with my kids? I'm like, no, you probably shouldn't.
as the new person, I'm allowed to use my fuck words, right?
Yes,
Okay.
explicit.
Yeah.
No.
I think we decided that Felicity
Yes.
canonically invented the word fuck in 1904.
Yeah, we did. Yes. Also, well, first of all, to all of our viewers, welcome to Season 2 of Roll No Evil. Unlike popular demand, we're back, baby. Eagle screech in the chat. Thank you all who has been listening, who has been just surviving through all of it, much like our characters did. We're really excited for this next season. The first season, we're dipping our toes into playing in a streaming fashion, playing it all together, and now our stupidity has culminated into what will become either my death or an attack on my life.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Thank you, Drew. This time around, there has been some changes. One has been about how the game is played. Another thing that has changed is some of our previous players are not able to make this session, but we did gain another player. We are now joined by the man, the myth, the drunkard, Stick.
Hello.
Welcome to our club. Welcome to
Welcome to our cult. Oh, wait.
I mean,
Shit.
Speaking of cult members, at the time of this recording, we are currently sitting at 51 subscribers on YouTube. So shout out to the 51 of you who really helped push this channel forward. And I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I don't know how to track the viewers on
we
Yes.
currently have 79 followers on Spotify.
10 too many.
Quick,
Ten
10 of you
too
just
many.
unfollow us.
Hey.
10
Yeah.
too many.
It's 10 too many. 10 of you need to leave.
Or
No,
our next
yeah.
goal is to get 420
Yeah, please.
because we're like middle school humor. Go on.
I would like to personally dedicate this episode to the best new subscriber notification I've ever gotten. Shout out to Buffer Nips
Yeah.
on YouTube. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for being
Yes,
a viewer and
honestly,
a listener.
Thanks for buffering your nips.
I didn't clear this by anybody. If you make a comment on YouTube specifically that makes me have a nice chortle, just a little we will have a character of choice repeat that comment.
Ooh.
So
I like
we
that.
in theme, and or we might do who. I pitched that we do whose line is it anyway rules, where I give you that line and you have to sneak it somewhere in the session.
Or
Done.
what
Give
do
it to
we
me.
get from that? Do we get like a plus charm moving forward?
You get a bonus in some area. It might be charm, it might be cool. So if you have a comment that makes us chortle, it could be on YouTube or any other social media. Even if you tweet it with adding Roll No Evil, I will give that line to one of the players to incorporate somehow into the next session.
Or all of
I
us,
love
and
it.
we compete.
I'll do it for free.
Shout out to our animator who's chilling in the recording session today. Thank you, Key, for all of season 1.
Huzzah!
Huzzah.
With that being said, we're really excited to begin our new session. Unlike last time, we're not trying to kind of go through the countdown system super strictly. This one, we're getting way more into the whole thing of uncovering the mystery, investigation, and whatnot, which, as we know from the previous session, that was a strong point.
Such
Hey.
an in-depth mystery.
It was.
It was great. We did good. I like how like last time I had like a very mystery heavy character for like not a lot of mystery, and this character is gonna be ass at the mystery for the mystery heavy campaign.
Yeah.
I'm really killing it on the character design.
I am very excited, and we're all excited to jump right into it. So, enough jabbering. Let's begin.
This time on Roll No Evil.
Yeah, just this week on Roll No Evil, and it's just like 2 minutes of various eagle screeches. That's it.
This time on Roll No Evil. This meeting is being recorded.
We begin this saga, we will say, looking into the sunset over a red-rocked mesa. Tumbleweeds course through the arid landscape. Gentle breezes barely pass by. The sun is beating down, making the entire area just glow in hues of oranges, reds, and yellows. There's no real sound that you can hear except for the gentle hum of a train somewhere in the background. What are you doing, Em?
I thought you were gonna say an eagle, and I was
Yeah,
getting
me
ready to
too.
make it.
And from the distance, we see a lone eagle flying over the dusk. You know what? Right now, whoever gives the best eagle screech gets a plus tough. Em, that was pretty good. Do it.
I pass. I can't do it. I'm gonna lose my voice if I do it.
Okay, Drew.
Have Stick go first. Next.
Thank you, Waluigi.
It's really good.
That's pretty good. All
That was
right,
really
Drew, you
good.
get plus one
Yeah,
tough.
yeah,
This
you know,
session.
you're right.
What if I want to do one?
Okay, Trav,
yeah, that's
go. Because you were playing guitar, so I didn't think.
Hey, yo, I'm that fucking eagle.
It's Italian?
I was about to say, that's a great impression of my father. But maybe not an eagle.
Shout out to Redacted.
Yeah.
Redacted's my boy.
All right, Drew, you have a plus tough forward to the first time that it comes up.
So it'll never get used.
He's gonna need
Just
it.
this session.
Oh, fuck. I gotta make sure I use it.
You gotta fight the marshal.
God,
Oh my
this is gonna
God.
go great.
We lay our scene in a very stereotypical looking old western town, one that is covered in the hues of pinks and purples from the sunset, with just this air of hardness and mystery, like in the winds that are there. Right in the beginning of the dry dirt road is a ginormous wooden archway that leads into the town. The wood is knotted and dry and old. It barely looks as though it can stand, but somehow it remains there like that ghost town in the making. Right at the top lays the name of the town, etched in, almost as look as though it was burnt into the wood. Bittermesa. Underneath, looking into the town, stands a man with a bag right at his feet. Drew, would you like to describe your character?
Oh, sure. So, standing under the sign of Bittermesa is Wyatt Cunningham. He's wearing a well-worn, older-than-him cowboy hat, brown. Got a dark brown duster on over like a brownish colored vest. He's got dark pants on. Got a gun belt strapped to his waist. And he's got a bright red bandana tied around his neck. And he'll just kind of look up at the sign, sigh to himself, reach down, grab his bag, and start walking in.
You can see through the windows of some of the old structures that are there. You don't know which is which, what is a home, what is an establishment just yet, but you could see from the windows the figures of the townsfolk. You can even see some almost look through the glass and see you, and then just very like guardedly like turn but just still stare. There's nobody out on the road. If there was at one point, they went inside when they saw a newcomer come in. You can just see how the town is in the various forms of just, it's definitely one that has withstood since the beginning of travel into the West. You can hear the bustlings coming from the larger establishments. As you're getting in rapture trying to take in the sights, you see from one of the buildings, one from the roughly the let me get my own map out.
Be sure to subscribe at patreon.com/rollnoevil to see the map that we're talking about.
Oh yeah, we keep saying we have a Patreon, but we don't.
I know, why we keep saying Patreon.
Oh, right, yeah. Subscribe to our OnlyFans.
That's just when Stick gives us saucy ankle pics.
Hey, I got right here. Right here.
Whoa!
Free?
I saw
What?
it right up there.
For
All of
real?
you listening in the background, you guys can't see because you are not subscribed to our only Patreon.
Our Patreon fans.
Oh, if I show you the other one, there's like a big bald patch from when my. Never mind, I won't go into that.
Welcome, Stick, to Roll No Evil.
More like welcome, roll no evil.
That's what we call a lore drop.
Yeah, is that your character's lore or Stick lore?
Both.
One and the
Yes.
same.
We are one.
Well, if you look here,
Yes, the answer was yes.
If you look, podcast
Well, if you really
listeners.
get in there.
we got to get pretty deep for that.
You know it's going to be a good session when we spend the first 5 minutes talking about Stick's legs.
Mm.
Where was I?
Looking about the town.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're looking out on the town. It's pretty bare, and as you're going in to try to get a good look of everything, you see from all the way at the end of the main road a figure like run out. Their arms are going up and down as they're running, and one of their arms raises to wave, and you hear, Mr. Cunningham! Mr. Cunningham! And you can see like them just like starting to huff as they run and run. You've never seen them before, but you at least start to get the impression based on how familiar they're talking to you. As they draw closer, you can recognize more of them. They are a taller, androgynous figure, long black hair that is straightened and loose, dressed in comfortable menswear. Tan skin, looks almost of native descent, grinning wildly as they wave you down. It's just like, Mr. Cunningham! They kind of like double over as they reach over, like tired from the run. Just raise a hand. So it's great to finally put a face to the name.
Take a breath, Dust.
They raise a hand, just like, oh, I knew you recognize. So clever. They like stand up, just take a deep breath in, a little fan themselves, just like, proper introductions. They put a hand out, just like, Dusty, it's great to officially meet you now.
Wyatt with one hand will take his hat off and with the other shake their hand. Nice to finally meet you.
Dusty like grins, and they see the bag, the bag case, whatever you want to call it, like at your feet. And they just like, oh, let me get that. And they go to like pick it up for you.
Oh, no, please. Speaking of, and Wyatt will reach in and pull out a little package. Like, Abs sent this for you.
Dusty just kind of like places a hand on their heart, just like, oh, I give my best to the wife. Oh, absolute sweetheart. They take the package, just kind of like put it close to their chest, like a little happy. Just like, oh.
She's made me swear not to open it, so I don't know what she gave you.
Oh, that's between me and her telegrams to one another, you know. A little benefit of being the person who gives out the messages here.
Kind of afraid of what she's been telling you.
Dusty just kind of like winks, like coyishly. They like turn to the rest of the town and they're just like, well, let me be the first to welcome you to our little slice here in the West. Welcome to Bittermesa. I hope the travel wasn't too rough down here. I know that, you know, certain paths in the railroad can get a little dicey.
It wasn't bad. It was pretty bumpy, but smooth traveling.
I know that if you try going through Taplet Stone, that part starts to get a little dicey out there. You know, that's where all the ruffians tend to be.
Well, thankfully they stayed away this time.
Aren't we lucky for that? Dusty guides an arm down towards the main road and just kind of gestures when it tilted their head, just all right, let's go this way.
After you.
Dusty leads the way, and as they do, they kind of with both hands kind of gestures to the entire main road. Well, welcome to kind of the main part of Bittermesa. This is, Main Street. This is the main part of it. Dusty points to how there's a row on either side of the dirt street that is just filled with mismatched wooden buildings. Some are a bit newer looking than others. Some are painted, some are not. All the architecture is pretty stereotypical for what you would expect in an old Western town. And as Dusty passes through, they kind of lightly try to explain what each one is. Just, oh, over there, that's the barbers. Over there, that's the blacksmith. Over there, that's the mining shop. Over there, the bank house. Just kind of randomly all over the place. Just for our viewers, as of last time, Discord chat is open as we're on video with one another, and we get M saying Dusty is officially baby, and then Trav, oh, Dusty fucks, and then Trav duels Dusty immediately to set the tone.
Listen.
I could never.
And the face, my face was just, I'm absolutely not. Cyrus doesn't give a fuck. I care. I would
This
die
isn't
for
that
Dusty.
type of Eddie.
Yeah.
For now.
Fuck around and find out.
Emphasis on fuck around.
It's off to a great start.
Dusty kind of continues on, just lightly gesturing to everything, but then turns over their shoulder to look at you and be like, this is where a majority of the establishments are. Folks have their homes and whatnot outside of town, but nothing that you can't walk through. Obviously, don't want to do that. The afternoon gets mighty hot out here, but you know what? Just makes you feel alive.
That's one way to put it, yeah.
That's the way I tend to like to think about it. Sometimes you gotta glass half full, but out here we can't afford the glass, so
Sometimes you just gotta look at things a little different.
Dusty nods, but then their face kind of oh, a little bit of a realization, be I hope I didn't come off as mighty insensitive.
Not at all, Dust.
Dusty kind of folds their hands in front of each other, slows down a little bit in front of one of the buildings, and looks at you from the corner of their eye of just, I put it in my telegrams, but just again, I'm my condolences.
Thank you. And Wyatt will kind of take his hat off and kind of put it on his chest for a second. I appreciate it. How things been here since?
Dusty kind of purses their lips very tight. You can see through on one of their cheeks that they're biting it. There's been, and can't really find the words, but Dusty just kind of at one point just stares at the ground, their eyes wide as either they're trying to find the right words or they're reliving something, just a very haunting stare, and then looks up. Just, it's something that I don't think any of us could imagine being in.
Well, hopefully I can get to the bottom of it and kind of calm things down.
Dusty stares you dead in the eye and does not look away very seriously. They just kind of mumble under their breath, just loud enough for you to hear, of, you be doing a lot of good if you can figure out what's going on here. A lot of folks be safer off.
I had good act to follow.
He was mighty good. Dusty kind of rolls their shoulders a little bit, almost brushing away the tone, before just kind of plastering back on that wide smile. Well, we could talk more about this. I can kind of fill you in with the arrangements that I had taken to help out. But for now, let's get you all settled. I know it's been a long journey. Probably gonna need a hot meal, maybe a drink. Dusty turns behind them towards one of the structures. You're about like towards the end of Main Street, about like a building down. It's not a very large structure. It's one floor, flat, like square building made out of wood. But you can see on the door the very familiar symbol of a star badge right on the center. On the top, the paint is faded. The white paint has been faded overall, but you can still see the overall impressions for where the wood that was covered is not as faded as the rest of its sign of just sheriff's office. Dusty opens the door and guides you in. After you.
Thank you, Dust. Wyatt will walk in, take his hat off as is polite entering a building.
Inside, just as it was outside, it's very simple looking. It's nothing to run home about. The entryway is pretty small. It almost looks as though the building is cut directly in half with a wall there. Right inside is a simple desk, a poster board filled with like outlaw bounty posters and generic like a safe and all little things that would be needed for like the day-to-day. There's a door on the back wall that would lead into the rest of the building, and then there's one that is on its right side. That one is shut. That door looks as though it was made out of metal instead. Dusty walks in and they point to the door in the back first and they go, back there, that is your living quarters. You'll find all the basics there. Bed, sink, everything you're gonna need. The saloon is where you can get your meals, but for here, this is where you can rest your head. And then they point to the metal door and goes, in there is the jailhouse. We don't got a big cell in there, but you got just enough to throw a person or two back there. Almost as added effect, Dusty goes over to the metal door and just kind of like jams their elbow in there. This booming of metal. On the other side, you can hear a male's voice just kind of like muffled yell, just like, we got one back there. That was the last one before and Dusty's face falls a little somber. You know.
What they do.
Dusty kind of like perks up a little bit, all excited. It's like, you heard of that train robbery that happened not too long ago? The one where you were on the border, weren't you, right?
I
The
was.
Gibsons?
Yeah.
Where they went in, they stole a train. It was all filled with silver that was supposed to be going to some, Richie Rich out in the bay.
Got one of them in here?
We got Bill Gibson. We got the head honcho. Roll investigative mystery.
First roll of the game.
I thought we were on the gold side of the
You are.
the war.
You were.
Oh, so there was a train of silver.
Skin mystery
Silver
is
train.
sharp.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 7.
You remember the name of Gibson vaguely, and basically what Dusty's saying, if like it's the leader, you have at least like an idea of there was a Bill Gibson that was the leader. You don't know any of the specifics, but you do know that the Gibson gang was very ferocious in the West. You know that they were train robbers that got some sort of notoriety. And for them to be so bold as to steal silver, just, you get a little bit of like, all right, this is something.
I got someone we could probably send a message to about what to do with them.
Dusty's eyebrows like flap a little bit, like, oh, I knew based on what you were telling me about your work back over there that you were a go-getter, but now just seeing it, it's mighty impressive.
Well, I was taught well.
Dusty kind of like nods their head. The voice in the back from the other side, Gibson, you can hear just kind of like simmer down a little bit, but if you listen closer, you can hear like little like murmur still.
As Wyatt will kind of walk by and he'll kind of like just back kick the door a little bit and then he'll throw his bag on the chair of the desk.
You hear from the back still another round of Gibson, his voice all muffled. It sounds, even through a metal door, it sounds hoarse and almost a bit shrill. Dusty almost like chuckles a little bit as you two then exit the sheriff's office. Dusty like hangs in the doorway and is just like, you need a minute in here?
A little later, once I get a little settled, I'll be staying here, so I got plenty of time.
That be true.
But thank you again.
Dusty like puts her hands on their hips and she's like, of course, I know that out here we don't get the best reputation, but talk to as many folks as I do, that, a little kindness goes a long way, especially in certain circumstances.
Well, my wife sure appreciates it.
My
Travis
My
shipping.
wife.
Look, it's already canon that your wife is sending like in Dusty like telegram to each other privately. So I'm not saying this is a throuple situation, but I'm
I was
definitely
gonna
saying
say,
this
you
is a
might be
throuple
the least
situation.
favorite in this throuple at this point in time, based off of what we're hearing.
Yeah.
You gotta redeem yourself. You gotta get in there, get the action.
Hey, he's batting 1,000. He's got a kid.
That wasn't revealed yet, but sure. Surprise!
Just lore drop,
Surprise,
surprise,
it's Boogie.
kid.
Take it out, take it out.
It is Boogie.
Surprise, it's Boogie.
Boogie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dusty walks out of the sheriff's office, gesturing for you to follow.
He'll look back just quickly and then fall.
How about Dusty kind of like looks to back into the center point of Main Street, eyes a little squinted against the sun. How about I guide you to where you can get a hot meal?
That I would not say no to. It's been a while.
Dusty gestures with a hand and leads you down the street towards this. Easily, it's the largest building on Main Street. It looks as though it's maybe 2 floors. The wood looks newer. This like rich, dark, I don't know, oak, just this rich dark wood with a painted red roof. There's a little balcony on the second floor that looks out into town. Nobody's on it, but you can see that the doors that lets people out are wide open. As you draw closer, you can hear just the bustling sound of music and voices and laughter coming out. A complete juxtaposition for like how you first entered the town.
Whose place is this?
Dusty like leads you straight to it, but stands right outside. This is the saloon. Lucky Ace's Saloon. It's owned by, Dusty kind of thinks for a minute, Owens. Yeah. The guy named Owens. He opened it up probably 4-5 years ago. It came at the perfect time. We need a better saloon. Alright? Before that, all we got was this crazy old man who sold us moonshine. You can see like a shiver.
This seems like a bit of a step up.
It very much is, especially since that moonshine, I don't know what that man was putting in it.
I'd be afraid to ask.
Well, you'll have your opportunity. You make eye contact, you're gonna get locked into a conversation.
Understood, and why I will look down.
Dusty like gives 2 thumbs up like, yeah.
She just fawns me.
Yeah, they just fawns. Dusty points to where the door is and goes, real good place, you're gonna get nice meals there. It gets a little rowdy, but you know what? Now that a new sheriff's in town, might calm down a little bit.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
We will. I gotta go back to the telegram. I mean, it's a 1-person operation, and I am that one person. I gotta go back. I got a bunch of people gave me notices of telegrams to listen to, so I gotta go do that before the day's end.
Yeah.
I'm trying to meet you back at the saloon best I can, but until then, don't get into a fight.
I'll try. Would you also mind sending this back out to Abs? Just let her know I made it, and he'll like hold out just a slip of paper.
Dusty takes it readily, just kind of like to show like that they're not looking at it. They like hold in their hand, but then like turn their hand.
I know you're gonna read it.
Dusty just kind of like the corners lift up a little bit and goes, no.
It's
That's
nothing. It's just telling her and Will that I made it.
Dusty like doesn't even listen. There's like, I know that I have to be the person that transcribes it, but you know,
There's nothing juicy in it.
I'm a close safe.
I love Dusty so much.
Die for Dusty, actually.
So Dusty takes the letter and just like, you got it, boss. Have a good night. And like waves as they begin going back to the telegram office, which because you're like in the center of everything, you can now visually see how different it is. There's like a little bit of like a radio tower that is at the top.
Fucking high tech.
A little structure, the little like wooden shack, but with this huge like radio tower that's at the top. The metal is rusted and a little bit bent. It almost looks like one bad like dust storm is gonna knock it over, but hey, it's still upright.
It, works.
Also, listeners, if I get any shit of like, well, back in the old Western days, there wasn't any radio towers, I don't care.
It's made up.
It's made up. I never pride myself on being historically accurate.
This takes place in the year.
Yeah.
In the year.
In the
Yeah,
year.
in the year 18...
One of the year of all time.
Cowboy years.
Of
We're in
all
the year of
years
yeehaw.
we've had,
Couple years.
This is one of
This
them.
takes place in season
This is
2,
a
episode
year.
1. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The year is
exactly.
season
18
2.
yeehaw.
Where does it take place?
Bittermesa.
Bittermesa.
West.
This place in
Bittermesa.
West of what? Doesn't matter.
Did you not listen to the intro with the really cool background music that dude's probably gonna do?
Wyatt, you see you go towards the doors of the saloon, these big, like, red painted doors, and open them up. Inside is a hustling and a bustling old saloon.
Oh, it's rootin' tootin'.
Yeah, it's one of those doors that, like, flaps open. It's the
It's the
saloon
saloon
doors. You know
doors.
exactly what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Inside is a hustling and a bustling saloon. It's as stereotypical as you think, you know, wooden walls, wooden floors. The walls are just painted a faded light green. There's a huge oak bar at the very back with one person behind it operating it all. Just empty jars and bottles lining a shelf behind it. There's an unorganized array of circular tables with adjoining chairs all over, many of which are occupied, some of which have been moved. There's, in one of the back corners, a huge poker table that you can see a few people crowd around playing cards with their heads down. You can hear the sound of music, but you really can't see where it's coming from.
Are the hills alive with it?
The
I'm glad
hills are
somebody
alive.
said it.
Yeah.
And it begins.
So Wyatt will walk towards the bar.
As you walk towards, you can feel the eyes of people, like, looking at you.
He'll make eye contact with every single one of them and kind of just nod.
Every single one of them?
Ooh.
Except the one that looks like an old drunk.
Well, I was gonna go from there. If you make eye contact with a particular old timer that you never saw him, you were never given a description, but dear God, do you know exactly who Dusty was talking about?
Wow, what are you doing here? Why are you coming in my town? So this short eggplant-shaped man with like a dirty Santa Claus, just like big old beard, broken overalls, and like a rusted shirt. He is dirty as anything, and he smells. He hasn't bathed in days. And you can smell the alcohol and sweat and dirt and grime on him. He is the grossest human being that ever human beinged. Like, he's short too. He's probably like,
You're right.
like your height?
I guess like a 5'3" eggplant or gourd. He's gourd shaped. There you go. That's probably better. And so he will jump up and grab you by the collar and pull you down so that he can actually see you in the eye. Don't look me in the eye when I talk to you.
I get the impression that he has to, like, hop a little bit to grab.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
He's only
I
like
didn't say.
5'3".
Yeah, Wyatt's 6 foot. Can your character jump that high
Can he jump? I
to
mean,
reach?
his arms reach up. It's like a 2-inch jump.
Anyway, go on.
And he'll pull you down. Say, "What are you doing in my town? I've never seen you before."
Well, probably because I just came in.
And he'll burp in your face or whatever. Not even a burp. It's just a weird old man noise. You know how they make?
Yeah, the lead poisoning, like, kind of gurgle.
And who are you?
Wait, you don't know who? How do you not know who I am? I'm Jenkins.
Well, I just came here.
Hey, bartender, over here. This man's getting me a drink. And he'll pull you over to the bar. He'll say, "Get me a drink right now."
Behind the bar, it's just one bartender that's behind there. It's a woman with, like, deep, rich, like, tan skin, long black hair that she's kind of, like, wrapped up in a bun that is, like, haphazardly, like, falling all around. She wears, like, the atypical, like, barkeep, so, like a starch white shirt, a black, like, long skirt, and an apron around. They have, like, I don't know what they were called. I kept seeing photos of them. It's, like, little, like, armbands on either side. You know what I'm talking about? It was like the little like things that were like on like the bicep.
To kind
It's
of like keep
probably,
your
probably
sleeve
something
up.
to keep like the sleeves
Yeah.
up, yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't find the name of them, but you know what I'm talking about. She kind of like looks over as she's like pouring a glass for another person. She like looks at the corner eye, sees who's flagging her down, and you could just see like a sigh, like it's like a full body sigh, like, are you fucking kidding me? She like gives the drink over, takes a breath, one hand on the hip before just making her way all over. Slow as she can, eyes closed, counting every step, and just goes, "What is it, Jenkins?"
I've got something to drink. Give me something to drink.
She like closed her eye, pinched between her eyes. She goes, "You know you're cut off. You gotta pay your goddamn tab before you get another drink."
Is my money not good enough? And he'll reach into his pocket and pull out whatever's in his pocket. Ghost Toast, what's in his pocket?
Lint.
Snail.
In your pocket is quite literally empty bottles. Somehow you fit them in there, like broken empty bottles.
So in the pocket that he reached into, he'll put the empty bottles on the table. It's like, what about this? I hear you can recycle these in certain parts of this country.
I hear there's a 5-cent tax, actually.
You shut up. You don't know anything. What do you know? You're just new here. Are you gonna refuse my service?
The barkeep like leans in and goes, "I've been refusing your goddamn service since you first walked in here. You have a bar tab of $100.
But you know I'm good for it.
No,
I'm-
I don't
Yes,
know.
I'm gonna find the gold. When I find that gold, I'll bring it right here and I'll pay you first.
The last time you said that you were good for it, all I got were chicken feathers and turpentine."
Is that not good enough?
Not to pay a tab.
She like looks over to you, Wyatt, instead, and just like, "Is he bothering you?"
He's fine. I'm Wyatt. How are you?
The barkeep like looks at you. Have we met before? You got a face.
Hear that all the time. New to town. I'm taking over for Butch.
Oh, their eyebrows raise like, "Oh, pardon me, I did a lot of traveling in my youth."
Oh, whereabouts?
And, you could see like a full body change in her. Like her chest puffs up, like you could see like her eyes raise. Yeah, we're not going like a reposition, but like oh, all right. She goes, "Well, I don't mean to brag.
Oh, by all means, do.
I was a sharpshooter out here before the train railroad came in." She like turns away almost like coyishly. She is like fully visibly expecting you to just recognize her.
He'll like snap his fingers like, "Oh, sorry, your name's on the tip of my tongue."
Blanche Sharma. I was once
Blanche.
known as Sharpshooter Sharma.
Can I just roll this? Just see.
Yeah.
I love that name so much.
Sharpshooter Sharma?
Sharpshooter Charm.
Would it be investigate a mystery?
Yeah.
Know if
Was
I
it-
know if I've heard of her?
Yeah.
That's an 8.
The name somewhat rings a bell. You at least know that Sharpshooter Sharma, it's one of those names that even if you don't remember her as an individual, you at least know that like she was probably one of those like roadshow sharpshooters.
Would I happen to know the name of the show?
Not with an 8. You just probably know it's like a road show, but you don't know which one.
Oh yeah, you shot with a road show, didn't you?
Blanche kind of like perks up even more. It's just like, "That's right. I was the best sharpshooter that ever traveled the West. I was spectacular. If it wasn't for, all this business with the railroad coming in, I still would be traveling."
My daddy used to tell me about you. Said it was the finest shot he'd ever seen.
And your daddy was damn right.
Oh, damn, I'm glad to meet you.
You as well, son. You get a free drink on me.
Oh,
Blanche goes to the back of the bar.
I don't drink.
She does not even listen. Like, she just
okay.
waves you off as she, like, gets, like, a full pint of beer and just, like, brings it back. She goes, "Now, you enjoy that, son. If you need anything, come and get me, all right? It's just an absolute delight to think about the old days, and right now, I'm trying to get this place up before I go back on the road.
Oh, of course. Could I get something to eat by any chance? It's been a long journey.
Of course you can, son. She, also, pushes the beer towards you, but she kind of also pushes it near Jenkins.
Can I also try and manipulate her?
Well,
I like to think that Jenkins just steals the
yeah,
beer while she's
before we
like...
do that, Jenkins, we go back to you as you see this drink pass within your reach.
Actually, Jenkins is gonna ignore the drink for this.
Oh.
He'll turn to you and be like, "So you're saying that you took Lil Willie's spot?"
Lil Willie?
Yeah, Lil Willie Gibson. Is that what you just told me?
No?
Is this an old man misremembering, or is this a stick misremembering?
Bill, did you take Bill's spot?
Well, Bill's in the jail. Are you thinking Butch?
So you put Bill away.
Someone did.
Okay. So that makes you the sheriff, huh?
It would. Are you okay?
He is impressively intoxicated.
I can smell it.
Oh, so he's already drank,
He has already drank.
which means we're gonna roll for drunk.
Roll for drunk.
So for our listeners, for this, I have made a homebrew mechanic, which is our drunk mechanic. The way that it works is basically when a player has consumed alcohol before or during game. The first time they do, they will roll 2d6 to establish what their tolerance is. From there, they then get certain stats that are in play for as long as they are drunk. So, Stick, roll 2d6.
You just roll those in your mouth.
He's rolling his teeth.
I can't. I've missing teeth, so they'd fall out. the dice, not my teeth, but I think my teeth would also fall out. I rolled an 8.
An 8. All right, so you have a normal tolerance. What this means is, how many drinks would you say that Jenkins has? Would you like to roll for that?
Well, Old Man Jenkins has had one of his drinks.
Which one did he have?
None of the special ones.
Okay.
Yeah, not non-special, just grain alcohol.
Just one?
Just one.
All right, so that means that you're going to have +1 charm towards somebody you want to manipulate.
But it's one of Jenkins' drinks, so does it count for 2?
I mean, we'll get you buzzed.
Great question.
So Jenkins, in the conversation, so you're the sheriff, huh?
I would be, yeah.
What makes you qualified to be our sheriff? Did you fight in the war?
I didn't, but I kind of did some work along the border for the past few years.
Oh, you know what? You might be okay then. Is she looking at me?
Is who?
She,
Blanche?
Blanche Sharma.
Blanche is looking away, dealing with another customer.
I can't see the fart. Is she looking at me or not? Fuck, damn it.
Wyatt will look and then look back to Jenkins. No, not right now.
Quick, okay. So he reaches into his little knapsack and pulls out this mason jug. I got this. I want you to try it.
I don't drink.
Just try it. And he'll put it into your hand, and he puts a hand on your shoulder.
You can manipulate another hunter.
Yeah, can I manipulate him for I don't drink?
No, he is shoving it into your chest.
Can I fake drink?
Do you have a beer in your hand?
Beer's on
Stick's
the counter.
gotta roll.
Yeah.
Stick
Oh,
roll.
okay.
No, I'm
Yeah,
do
Stick, what do you want to
You
do?
get to roll to
I'm
manipulate another
manipulating
hunter.
Drinking this.
Yeah, roll manipulation.
Roll low. Roll
You get a
low.
+1.
That is a 9.
And you get a
Well,
+1
plus-
charm.
What's
Charm.
That is a 9
Charm.
plus 3.
Shit.
So that's a 12.
That's a
Jesus
12.
Christ.
It's +2 plus the charm.
Yeah, fuck, I'm drinking. All right, well, you know what? Jenkins, was it?
You can just call me Old Man Jenkins. That's what everybody else calls me.
All right, old man. Just for you, for the first time we meet, I'll have one.
That means that you now mark off a point of experience, and you get +1 ongoing if you're anything involving taking a drink, so casually talking to someone and trying to chat them up. That's a +1 ongoing.
Okay.
So that's gonna happen each time.
Wait, Drew, did you roll to see if you were a lightweight or a heavyweight?
I didn't. I have to.
Now you gotta roll for drunk. Oh,
Please
poor
be a
Drum.
lightweight. Please be a lightweight. Oh my god.
All right, so it's 2d6 plus what? Plus weird.
Plus weird.
Okay, that's going to be a -1. That's a 7.
You got a
That's-
7?
I got an 8 -1 for a 7.
All right, so you also have a normal tolerance. So you're going to also take +1 charm if you want to manipulate someone.
Oh, should I have added that +1 ongoing to that because it's involving a drink or no?
Yes?
Okay, so that's an 8.
That is still the same outcome.
Okay.
That didn't do jack shit.
You know what? I don't care.
Drew, can you roll 1d6 for me?
Why?
Mhm. Just do it.
Just do it.
2?
Don't worry about it.
2. All right, it burns all the way down, but you feel
Mhm.
invigorated. This thing is the grossest, just harshest alcohol burn that you've ever had. You might barf just from like the smell of it, but like if you drink it, you feel invigorated and fortified, and you'll gain 2 armor during the next combat.
Oh,
Mhm.
shit.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus. Glad I.
Mhm.
Well, all right.
Mhm.
Not fighting him today.
That's a drink, all right.
On your breath, you're smelling your own breath, but also you can still kind of taste it. It's fucking poison. Think like Malort. Like that, it's just nastiness.
You're like, can I get a water?
Sharma like comes back up and she like sees the bottle in your hand and she's like, Jenkins, you did not trick this boy into drinking another one of your concoctions.
Jenkins rips it out of his hand. I didn't do nothing, and he'll hop down from his stool and shuffle away into a corner.
Sharma like takes like whatever like bar peanuts are on the counters, like throws them at you. He's like, "Get!"
God damn it! Stop it, you woman!
As he like shuffles by, he passes another one of yous. Dude, would you like to describe your character?
Outfitted in her best West attire, she wears a white blouse with the sleeves rolled up under a warm brown vest that matches her gloves that extend past her wrists. Her hair is tied in a neat braid that hangs over her shoulder, and a red cloth wraps around her neck, tied in a dapper bow. Her grayish tan trousers are tucked into her high dark brown boots, matching her hat resting next to her on the table. She adjusts her round silver frame glasses as she finishes up her drink and her food. And I should probably roll, shouldn't I?
Yep. That's a plus weird, by the way.
Sometimes love is throwing nuts at somebody. What can I say?
That's
Just gotta
foreplay.
throw nuts in faces.
Unfortunately, not quite my type.
That's a 6.
You are a lightweight.
Oh, baby.
This is
Oh,
your first
baby.
drink.
My first drink.
So this is gonna be -1 cool ongoing.
Oh, great.
Anything you roll cool on, it's a -1.
Love it.
You see Jenkins like waddle away, peanuts flying, one of which happens to land in your meal as you finish up.
She stops and then just kind of scoots the plate forward, like, I'm probably not gonna touch that again.
As he runs, he almost trips over a piece of equipment that you've laid on the table. Your trusty camera. Waddles a little bit, but you're able to catch it.
She's gonna shout after him, careful!
Yeah, hey, wait, stop it! Stop throwing it up! Hey, you think she's into me?
Who are you whispering that to?
Himself?
You're running away.
Well, whoever's around, he's drunk, remember? He's drunk and he's an old man.
Probably Winifred, you would have heard that.
I don't know. I don't think so, the way that she's throwing those at you.
Well, good, because she's not quite my type. She's not the right people. Think you could get me a drink? It's hotter than 2 rats screwing in a sock over here.
You heard that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can finish mine, and she'll hand him the rest of her drink. There's not much
Oh,
left.
thank you. And he'll pick it up and go.
Does he make those noises?
Oh, absolutely. He's an old man.
That's just him breathing.
I like how he left
All right.
the full beer on the bar.
All right, Stick, that means that you now have, instead of the +1 charm, you now have +1 cool ongoing. So every time you use cool, and 1+ charm forward, either towards manipulate someone or help out.
That's a lot of words.
That's why I gave you a fucking manual.
I know.
Print out the manual like I did.
have it right here.
Wow, fucking brown noser.
Yeah, to the ghost.
That's why I have +1 charm.
Oh.
I'm just glad that other people are taking notes this time because I was gonna murder everyone in the last session, last campaign.
I need y'all to know, my only notes are Eduardo, 10 monies, and Dusty is hot. That's all I got.
So
Yeah, right.
I am taking very good notes. However, apparently I can't read. Calling the old sheriff by the guy who's arrested.
I thought that was like
I mean,
a
it was
character
actually very
moment.
I
in
love it.
character.
I mean,
Yeah.
now it
It
is.
weirdly fit, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so did dude, you gave him your drink?
Yeah, so now he's
Mhm.
drunk.
Yeah, it was like half a drink left.
Yeah.
Seeing that, can Wyatt bring over the beer that was poured that he's not touching?
Yeah, here you go.
Just like he'll kind of put it down. Just like, here, why don't you take this one? Other than that one, I don't drink.
That's very, very sweet of you. I guess it'd be rude not to take it. And then she'll take a sip. She'll be like, I'm Winifred.
Wyatt, nice to meet you, Winifred.
Nice to meet you too. Are you from here?
Just came into town. Just got off the last train. I'm the new sheriff.
Oh, you're the sheriff. Are you hiring?
I don't know the finances yet, but I can get back to you.
Because I'm very handy. I could do a lot of. I'm very good at bookkeeping. My family has a bit. I'm very good at bookkeeping. So if you need to keep track of all your finances, I could do that. I could just sit there for when people come in, or just to make sure people don't run out. Like I can do so many things. Like I can clean up around there. I'm kind of stuck here because I kind of ran out of money. So
I feel like that happens to a lot of people here.
yeah.
Tell you what, once I kind of get settled in, I'll give you a call and we can figure something out.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
That's quite a camera you got.
I'm glad you have great taste. Thank you. It's helping me with all my investigating.
You hear behind you, Wyatt, just like light guitar music, but you don't see anybody playing an instrument, but you can very clearly hear a guitar.
Gonna look around like, what?
That happens a lot.
Something coming?
Winifred kind of like turns her head as if it was planned out, sitting like in a seat, like in the corner with like one of like the lights just positioned enough where it's like illuminating him, but like his hat is down.
Like Strider in the corner of the prancing pony.
Yes. We then get Trav. You want to introduce your character?
Oh, this is gonna be so much fun to edit.
So sitting in that dull, pale light is what I can only describe as a Santa Claus-esque figure. Just an absolute pile of a man, about 5 feet tall and 5 feet wide. And he's sitting there just kind of, looking down awkwardly at the table. He sticks out like a sore thumb because every single thing that he wears looks like it came from the gift shop of the last town he was in. And is just kind of sitting there fiddling around with an unmarked bottle that feels like a Polly Pocket in his massive hands, but he's just gingerly holding it up like a little tiny teacup and taking small sips.
Like a shot glass?
Somewhat like a shot glass. To him it might be, but the bottle stands out as being not from that bar. And he just kind of fidgets a little bit nervously. He kind of like notices that people are starting to talk and move and doesn't quite know what to do in this situation, so he just keeps his glass close to him.
Who's that?
That's the milkman.
The milkman.
Yep, you'll get used to it.
Do you just like hire a mariachi to follow him? Like, where's that guitar coming from?
No one knows. I actually tried to follow him once, but like he kind of evaded me. I don't know if it was on purpose or if it just happened. And it just happens. I don't know where it comes from. I'm gonna try again. He might be a cryptid. I don't know. And then there's that bird too.
Is that what that is? I wasn't sure what that was.
I think it's a bird.
Sounds like something dying.
There's no source. That
Yes.
is canon. Nobody knows where it is at. nor
Eagle's
the
part of the
eagle.
cryptid.
Sounds like the eagle's dying.
Is that canon that there's no real source of the music, by the way?
Yeah.
Great.
Like, I just have a mystic sound source around me. That's my passive ability.
The question is, does Eduardo hear it or not?
Oh.
I
Like,
think
do
it's
you
better that
notice
he
it?
doesn't,
He
but
doesn't.
everyone else does.
He truly doesn't. He just wonders why everybody's afraid of him and starts hearing music around him.
Talking to Winifred, how long has he been in town?
I'm not sure. I think for a while. A lot of people look at him weird.
I can see
I haven't
why.
been here that long.
You just kind of like make eye contact with Eduardo from the other side.
Eduardo like tries to play it off like he didn't just hear what he just heard, and like just kind of looks up like, oh, where's that bird?
Wyatt will wave to him, just like, oh, hey, how are you?
Eduardo just kind of looks around,
Yeah, you.
points to himself.
The only one in the corner, yeah.
Muy bien. I think it's also worth noting now, and I'll make a better disclaimer for him now. Hulk of a man, but like pasty is all shit. Like he could have fine, fresh linens on and still somehow look brighter than all of this. And we'll get into that later. But in Spanish, just muy bien, señor.
Eduardo, do you get up from the chair? Or are you gonna still remain there?
No. Eduardo just feels like he is being like watched and interacted with, so he just kind of like tries to make himself as small as he can, which is hard for Eduardo to do because he's already wider than the table he's sitting at, and just kind of like just looks down shyly at the ground.
Did you base this character off of Eduardo from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
No,
The big fucking purple monster?
no, but god damn it, I might have subliminally. God damn it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's just
so
Eduardo from Foster's Home.
Oh, hola.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. Eduardo, do you do anything or you're just gonna remain there?
I'm just gonna kind of remain there, but I noticed that my full-size bottle that looks very small in my hands is now empty, so I just kind of slide it into the bandolier that's across my chest, which you notice is filled with other bottles and like maybe 1 to 2 things that look like shotgun shells, and just takes out another one and just gives it a quick little shake, pops open the lid just with my fucking fingernail, my massive thumbnail, and just continues to take a sip.
Oh, okay. This is the town, all right.
Sure is.
As you're staring at Eduardo. Who, we don't have the full name just yet. He didn't introduce himself to the others with the full name.
No, we just know him as the milkman.
Yeah, you just know him as the milkman. Canonically, you don't even know his name is Eduardo.
Yeah.
It's just the milkman.
The milkman. I like that we're giving, like, as well, we're making fun of, like, suave music, but you're just, like a kid that transferred into a new school, just, like, shy.
Yeah. I do not fit in every sense of the word. I barely made it through the doors.
Baby.
So, Wyatt, as you look at the milkman, you can also see from the corner of your eyes how the rest of the inhabitants at the saloon have kind of started looking at you too. So you can see from the poker table, the players just peering at you, whispering amongst themselves. At one table, you see a couple, and what probably was like them laughing back and forth has turned into quiet muttering. You very much has attracted all the attention, which is a bit hard to do considering some of the people you've met, but you've succeeded. Maybe they overheard that you were the sheriff. Maybe it's just because you're an unfamiliar face.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe he's born with it.
Maybe it's because he fucks.
As somebody put in chat, Sheriff Riz. As everybody's turned to you, you do notice though that at the end of the bar you were just at, all the way on like one of the seats like next to the wall, there's one person who has not looked at you, has not even flinched since you entered. Would you like to describe your character?
Yeah. So, Cyrus Bertram, is a tall, maybe I'd say tall and sort of kind of broad, sort of this broad figure, is completely head to toe dressed in black. Has a big black hat that is still on because earlier you made a comment about that takes a hat off when walks into inside because it's polite. Absolutely, hat is still on. and it's pulled down quite low over his face, so you can't quite make out really any features, and is wearing this long black duster. Has a bandana around, sort of like, not quite like sort of around his neck, that was originally going to be red, but is not going to be red anymore, I guess, and it's going to be it's going to be dark black now. It's fine. It's fine.
People get fucking red.
No, mine's going to be black now. I've decided. And you can see a sort of like a well-worn but like definitely well-kept 6-shooter hanging off of his hips, and he is sitting at the bar. He has a drink, and so I'll roll for that. Has a drink in his hand, but is absolutely just not paying attention to any of the surroundings, and not in a like, oh, isn't paying it, but like in a aloof, like does not deign to give anyone his attention. So you can't quite really make out any of his features, just sort of this dark figure coated in black in the corner. And also you can tell that he's wearing like gloves and everything, so like, he does have a big iron on his head, what can I say? So I'm gonna roll for, big iron on his head. I rolled a 10.
So you have a good tolerance.
Hell yeah, I have a good tolerance. Is this for the whole game?
This is now your tolerance moving forward. So make sure you mark it down.
Fuck yeah.
So this is your first drink, so no effect.
And so, yeah, he's just been like, while all the other shenanigans have been happening, all of the things, just sitting there, just sort of sipping his drink.
And I'll look to Winifred, kind of silently just give like the, who the fuck's this? Side nod to that person. And can I investigate a mystery on this person to feel him out?
Yes, you can.
7.
You don't really pick up that much when looking at this figure. The majority of it that you can like glean is just this person is not a part of Bittermesa in the way that maybe the other people that you're surrounded by are. Probably a newcomer, probably not looking to become a part of the community, but nothing you can glean outright from them. They don't ring a bell, nothing that you can pick up otherwise.
How much of their drink is left?
Probably not, like probably is just finishing a drink right now.
I know why I kind of asked Winifred something, so I'll wait.
Oh, right. Yeah, forgot about that. I don't really know. I actually sat next to them, and I tried to talk with them, but then they just kind of ignored me. So, I don't know who they are. And then I came over here. Because they got weird vibes.
Winifred bringing the vibe check to the west.
The first canonical vibe check?
This is it, folks.
Vibe check. This term was used.
Oh yeah, we don't have
That's why we're not using any of the term.
Yeah, did we have a Wild West dictionary?
There's a Wild West dictionary.
Fuck. Oh, God.
Fuck it, put it in chat. Give Eddie something to do here.
But Wyatt will kind of nod thanks to Winifred, and he will saunter up to this man in black, and he'll see he's pretty much empty with a drink, and he'll be like, top you off?
Cyrus doesn't react, does not look at him, does not make any type of acknowledgement.
He'll signal to Blanche for another one.
Blanche kind of like darts her eyes looking at you and then looking at Cyrus. Like, and you can see like one of her brows raised, like, really?
Wyatt will nod.
And I think if Blanche comes over, I think Cyrus just goes, I didn't ask you for no charity.
It's only charity if it's free. I never said I was paying.
I heard you came from the silver part of town.
Oh.
Old Man Jenkins is just still talking in the back.
is that what Old Man Jenkins is gonna say?
Old Man Jenkins sees what's happening. He's like, oh, I can start something here.
So you very clearly can hear that, the both of you. A few people nearby also raise their brows. The West is not kind to those who like silver. Even mentioning the name is enough to pry people out of their deepest conversations, their jolliest of moods, to just look over like, oh, what'd you say?
I think that that is about pretty much Cyrus's reaction. Is I think Cyrus was had the cup up to his lips like for the last one. He doesn't look. He doesn't turn to look at Jenkins. He is still staring like at the bar. Just sets it down. Says, "What did you say to me?"
Somebody said that you came from the silver part of town.
Like I would be caught dead in this rat's ass of a town for more than I have to be. But you say one more thing to me, I'm going to give you this one chance. You say one more thing to me, boy.
I thought this was a free country. I can say whatever I want. Are you offended?
Walk away.
Old Man Jenkins walks up to Wyatt and says, "Is this your town or his?"
I mean, way I see it, you said something to offend a man.
Old Man Jenkins walks up to Cyrus, pats him on the back, and wait, no, before you say something, I have an ability. It's called Tipsy. Twice per mystery, you can cause someone to feel drunk for a few minutes. By touching them, when you induce drunkenness, roll plus weird. On a 10 plus, the target becomes physically disoriented and emotionally volatile. On a 7 to 9, the drunkenness introduces a complication. On a miss, you get sloshed instead.
That is for the whole mystery, though, right? Like, so that's for the
just
whole...
the session.
Oh,
The
twice
session.
Twice per session.
Oh, okay. You're going to do this. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's
so
great.
I'm going to try and get you tipsy.
Great. I'm already...
So that is a 5 plus 4 plus weird. My weird is...
I feel like you're weird as shit.
Oh, that's an 8.
So how does that work with like my drunken condition? Because I've only had the one drink.
This is gonna bump it up. Stick, what was the 8 again?
8 is 7 to 9. Their drunkenness introduces a complication.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do instead is, because right now you're good and you have no effect, I'm gonna get you -1 sharp.
Great. I think as soon as you touch his back, he punches you in the stomach.
Oh, that's assault! That's assault!
Roll kick some ass.
Which it's gonna, yeah. So let me pull up.
Oh, we need a new one. Last season was Shake of
That's
Flan, and
true.
now what is
Yeah,
it
it was
gonna
this
be?
one.
What's
Kick your spurs.
That's not
Time
bad.
to kick your spurs.
Kick your
Time
spurs.
to high noon.
It's high. Well, no, that's gonna be the showdown.
We can't do
Yeah,
that.
no, you're right.
For legal reasons, we can't do that.
It's midday.
Okay. I rolled an 8 on kick some ass. On just kick some spurs.
Is it just bare knuckle?
Oh wait, shit. I think I add.
Yeah, remember you have weapons.
No, it is bare knuckle. And it's an 8, and it's 2 harm. No, it's how much is a normal one? It's 2 harm. And I think after Cyrus, I think Cyrus punches him, right? Like punches him right in the stomach and says, "I told you to walk away."
That's 2 harm to you, Stick.
Eduardo stands up after seeing this happen, and you just hear the entire table beneath him just kind of shift forward. But he's just there and like tries to play it off like he's just brushing behind his neck, but you see him reaching for a handle shape on his shoulder. But he waits. He waits to see what happens.
Wyatt will step in between Cyrus and Old Man Jenkins.
And I think Cyrus is like 2 inches taller than Wyatt.
Just enough to piss him off.
Height's an attitude. And Cyrus is acting pretty small right now. So Wyatt will step in between them and look into Cyrus, be like, "Now, man caused offense. Let's leave it at that. All right." And I'm going to manipulate Cyrus to not.
To calm down.
Yeah, to not.
All right, roll.
Now, do I get my code bonus? 'Cause everyone knows I'm the sheriff.
You do get your code bonus.
With all of my new drink modifiers. Okay, I rolled shit.
You can try luck this early on.
You know what? To establish dominance, I'm going to, and I'm going to mark experience.
Mm.
Oh shit! I got a mark experience from before.
I'm up to two. Only 2.
Waste your luck on me.
I mean, I gotta set the tone.
Start your dominance.
All right, that's a dirty 12. So that's going to be Cyrus. You get to choose if you want to do what said. If you do, you do get +1 forward. Basically, if you do anything but punch Jenkins.
Yeah. What do I +1 forward on what specifically, or just anything?
Whatever first action you make next.
Fuck
So
yeah.
you don't get it ongoing. This is a forward. So
Yeah.
you have this just in your holds to use later on. As long as it's nothing that is antagonizing Jenkins and you're like, calm it down.
Love it. I think that Cyrus just stares at Wyatt.
Stare him back.
Who's gonna blink first? Can we roll to have a stare off?
Are any of the other patrons alarmed by this?
People have now, in the rest of the saloon, have like turned their heads fully. They're no longer hiding that they're looking. All eyes are on the two.
I think Cyrus then will just looks at Wyatt and doesn't even spare a glance at Jenkins. Not worth it. And says, "Now, I got business here in this town, and I'm not gonna leave until my business is done. And if you know what's good for you, lawman, then you best stay out of my way."
Welcome to your business, but lay another hand on someone in my town, and we'll be meeting at noon.
I'd love to see you try. He picks up, was there a drink on the bar?
Did they ever refill the glass?
If Blanche refilled it.
Blanche is like still like frozen behind the counter, just watching this interaction back and forth.
I think Cyrus just makes like a gives a little like nod to Sharma, and then just sits down and continues to ignore Wyatt.
Eduardo, you had stood up and you had reached for a bandolier or whatever it was you were reaching for.
It's for a vaguely handle-shaped item behind his back.
Would you like to continue or not?
Eduardo just kind of slowly lowers his hand, thinking that the situation has not escalated further, but he's keeping an eye on the group.
This is not Felicity. This is very much not
And
Felicity.
I love that for you.
I'm actually really nervous about doing a very volatile.
You're doing fantastic so
fisticuffs
far.
man.
Yeah, you're doing great.
I'm very scared. I don't know how to do this, y'all. I want to be light and happy and make jokes.
I'm gonna turn to Blanche, and as he's going over, he'll kind of nod towards Eduardo, just kind of like I saw you.
Eduardo just kind of like looks straight at him and realizes that like, yeah, he's appreciating what just happened there. I'm just like, it like kind of like smile a little bit, but it's all hidden under the mountain of facial hair, and it's just a quick little downwards nod, sign of respect.
Picture him doing like the white people smile, just like like underneath all the fur.
Literally, just picture fucking Klaus from the Netflix animated series.
I love that movie.
I like to think
so
he's like this in the
much.
corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the
That's like
inside,
my
Eduardo is
full-
just a fucking ooh-woo girl waiting.
He's like kicking his feet.
Yeah, just,
He knows me.
just doing the 1-2 buckle my shoe, like foot swipe.
So before I go to Blanche, can I help Jenkins up?
You don't have to roll help out. You can just help him up.
You all right, old timer?
Take. Yeah, I could use a drink.
You can roll help out to try to heal some harm.
Sure. Can I pat him on the back and dust him off?
I mean, you can. For that, probably not help out. That's just going to be emotional support.
That's fine. Yeah.
Could Eduardo help out?
Yes, Eduardo can very much help out.
Eduardo just kind of like sees Wyatt picking him up. He's like kind of looking around, trying to see if old man Jenkins is okay. And as they're like slowly getting him onto his feet, Eduardo just kind of saunters over, takes one of the bottles out from his bandolier, and takes his thumbnail and just kind of scratches a little symbol on the top of the cap. And Janet, I don't know if you're catching on what I'm doing with this. And just scratches a symbol onto the top of the cap, just gives a little dust off the top, and hands it to old man Jenkins.
What is this? What's this thing this old demonic rune you've written on here?
Senor Jenkins, please drink.
What if she's looking around, like trying to figure
I know,
out
everyone
where
looks
the
around like, where the
eagle's
fuck's the
hiding?
bird?
I think even at that eagle, even Cyrus, he doesn't look at anyone, but he just slightly, like 2 degrees, tilts his head up ever so slightly,
Yeah.
just for the eagle noise.
What is it? He says, "What is it?" But he pops a cork and drinks it while he's asking you, "What is it?"
What does it taste like?
It tastes warm, about body temperature since it's been strapped to my chest all day. A creamy with hints of vanilla substance on the inside. Pure white. It's not cum. Stop thinking it's cum.
Okay.
That you called it a substance.
I mean, if you had vanilla cum,
God.
It tastes like a sweet cream. Jenkins, do you drink it?
Yeah, he already drank it.
I'm gonna roll for this now. A miss is anything below 7, right?
Yes.
Okay. I got exactly 7.
Okay.
All right. So take -1 for the damage, right?
Yeah, you heal 1 point.
Heal 1 point, and you're just gonna be a little sleepy.
What did you do to me?
Just a little more calm than you have been.
More what?
A little more calm.
I heard a different word.
Yeah, I heard a different word too.
yeah, you get a little more calm than you're used to, old man Jenkins.
CALM, calm.
Yeah, you got real calm after his vanilla white substance.
Vanilla sweet cream.
Yeah, you know.
We know he's the milkman. We don't know his name.
Did you
is
just like
Eduardo.
feed him Baileys?
You just know him as the milkmaid. You don't know his like real name. No one has asked for his real name or an introduction.
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Technically, nobody asked for mine either. Nobody knows my name.
That's because no one wants it.
It's fine.
No, whatever did, but you didn't talk
That's
to her.
true.
I'll throw this out there.
Shit.
Yeah, old man Jenkins is now more susceptible to manipulation. I don't know what that looks like stat-wise, but
It's gonna be a +1 to whoever.
So, oh man, Jenkins, while he's like dozing off, oh, what the heck did you give me, milk boy?
warm leche.
It tastes good. He pulls out a second bottle of one of his just like grain alcohols and pours it into the milk.
You now have very curdled milk. I don't know what that makes you susceptible to,
As
but
you see the milk in the bottle start to like curdle a little bit. It's doing it. Your attention is immediately enraptured, Eddie, as you watch it curdle. This is a new thing that you're witnessing.
yeah, I'm just kind of like staring at it with like childlike wonder of like, Senor Jenkins, how do you do this? And I'm just like looking back and forth like a puppy, like looking at the treat and looking at you.
It's called a cocktail.
Cocktail.
Is there a seat nearby that I could just dump Jenkins in?
Yeah, it's a saloon. There's plenty of seats.
Yeah, well, I'll put him in one while he's slurping.
And Eddie just kind of like keeps repeating to himself like this is the first time he's heard it. He's just like cocktail, 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 and just takes out his tiny little notebook and like writes down in it. I mean, nobody can see it, but he just writes leche con cocktail.
Jen, is this what you expected from this session, from this campaign?
You know, that's a Pandora's box of an answer.
When have we ever been expected?
I want you to know the first session 1, I had a very detailed like list of things that I wanted to hit on. For this one, I just said game plan. Let them be in the saloon.
So far,
Boy,
so good.
howdy, have we been in this fucking...
Yeah, so you guide.
All right, so yeah, I'll plop Jenkins down in the chair, walk over, and kind of slightly punch the brick shit house that is the milkman. And just be like, "Thanks, big guy."
And Eduardo just kind of looks down, like barely registering that somebody hit his arm, and just kind of like very, very shyly, like kind of bowing his head as he's trying to think of the words. It's like, hey, it's no problem, Senor
Wyatt Cunningham. And he'll kind of hold out his hand and kind of give and you?
Eduardo just kind of reaches his hand out and grasps the sheriff's entire arm in his just massive palm, and just kind of looks at him and goes, "Mi nombre es Eduardo Oscuro de la Demencia del Cuervo."
Like, look around, like, what?
But you may call me El Lechero.
At this point, everybody else in the bar has looked up to see where this fucking eagle is.
Does anybody else hear that?
So, somewhere in the back, you don't know who, you hear somebody goes, "You can hear that too?"
I thought I was the only one.
We already talked about it.
And
Fuck, that's right.
Eduardo is just kind of looking around, like wondering where everybody's looking. He's just like, did I say something wrong?
Nah, you're good, big guy. Just there's an eagle. Every time, like, you do something.
Big guy. And just takes out the notebook again and just says, Eduardo, big guy.
I said I would die for Dusty. I lied. I would die for El Lechero.
In case it's not blatantly obvious, El Lechero is just Spanish for the milkman, the man of milk.
So I put together what Eduardo was doing with the little scratching and stuff. Would Winifred have seen that? Like, would she put that together?
I want you to roll. Read a bad situation.
That is a 9.
So you definitely saw that he carved something into the top of the bottle. You didn't get a good look at it. You would need to get the bottle itself to understand, but you know that something odd happened when he got the bottle.
Does Jenkins still have the bottle?
Jenkins still has the bottle.
It was the cap of the bottle. I'm guessing Jenkins kind of threw it, right?
Yeah.
All right, she's gonna run over and she's gonna pick it up.
You kind of like scuffle over. The bottle cap is like between where like Eduardo and Wyatt are, and you're not subtle about it. You're like bumping them. You have like your camera on your back. You're just like getting it.
Hey, excuse me, sorry. I just gotta pick
sorry.
this up right here.
Wait, what is he doing?
When he makes that noise, it like jars you a little bit, enough where like you turn just a little bit. Because I would assume that your camera is back to where it usually is, which is like on your back.
Sure.
The legs kind of swish around and kind of hit the bottom of the chair that Cyrus is sitting in.
I'm so sorry. She's gonna whip back around and probably accidentally hit.
Yeah, you just whack. Like,
You just whack me.
Do I whack him or Eduardo?
probably like both. Probably like you turn and it's just like.
She's gonna whip back around. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then hit back.
Which way did it hit Wyatt? Like towards the bar or towards something
Towards
else?
the bar.
He'll like stumble into the bar. Oh, jeez, Winifred.
I'm so sorry.
We need to help you out with that.
It's probably not the best spot, and she's gonna like take it off her back and like hold it into her one hand with the bottle cap just kind of grasping it in her other.
I think when because you hit Cyrus's chair, did Cyrus fall out of the chair or did it just like knock?
It would have just rocked you
Okay.
a lot.
I think that Cyrus just turns his head enough to be able to like stare at you in the corner of his eye, and you just see his eyes. And he just glares at you for just like a second too long, and then turns back to his drink.
I'm gonna have you, Winifred, roll act under pressure.
Act under pressures.
Plus cool. Remember your modifiers.
I have the -1 from drunk. Then I just have a -1 because I'm me. So that is an 8.
You like put your hands up, like clearly like I didn't mean any harm as you get up. However, doing so, you then knock like back into like Jenkins on the chair. And he falls over.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And then she's gonna help Jenkins up.
Oh, thank you. I think you got me a drink.
He's just still sleeping.
He's just clogging it in the chair.
How about we get you some food? And she's gonna grab her unfinished plate and just kind of plop it in front of him.
What kind of food is it?
Slop.
Like, is it more like soup or mashed potatoes?
Yes.
It's like mashed potatoes. Like picture like
grits.
You know, grits, yeah.
God, I fucking love grits.
All right. So he'll pick it up with his hand. Like he'll, thank you. And he sticks his hand into it and just picks it up with his hand and like shoves it into his face. It's all in his beard and everything. He's John the Baptisting this. Like it's all in his beard.
I
I
wasn't
know
expecting
exactly
that
what
reference.
you're talking about.
yeah.
I wasn't expecting that reference right there.
We're getting biblical this season.
There were so many other things you could go for that were like that same energy, but no, John the Baptist, I guess.
All right.
That explains the smell.
You could have gone Gollum. You could have gone like
Gollum doesn't have a beard.
true, but he
Gollum
does
didn't
eat
baptize anybody.
nasty things.
Did you not see the sacramental alcohol that I gave our sheriff?
Sacrament. Whose blood was it?
Yeah, my guy's just handing out the blood.
We don't ask questions.
You were warned about Jenkins.
You're handing out the blood. We got
So,
the body in the plate right here. What is Eddie holding?
Semen. We established this.
Come leche.
Cocktail.
Cocktail. And we have
No,
found,
Jesus.
folks, the bit.
Here's the thing. I'm not even making the jokes this time.
Sorry.
No, you are.
I'm just making them
sorry.
possible. I'm setting y'all up.
While you're like, you're literally mashing your face into what, like mashed potatoes. Like Sharma, like huffs over behind the bar, slams her hand on the table. She goes, "You gotta stop right there."
Okay, I'm sorry. I stop.
No, you won't. Like she's not believing you. She goes, "You gotta get it. I threw peanuts at you. Get. You are cut off for the night.
I'll take him. I'll take him.
But I'm not drinking.
You take him."
I'll take him. And I'd like to apologize for everything that's been going on.
Sharma kind of like blushes a little bit.
I'd like to come by tomorrow and just talk to you about town, get the lay of the land, if that's all right.
At the mention of tomorrow, her face like pales a little bit. She goes, "You don't know this. We're closed tomorrow." Like very like sternly.
Oh, sorry. Maybe next time you open, I can swing by.
The day after we'll be open. We don't open on Friday evenings.
Can I ask why?
Her face like pales a bit more. She's like chewing on her lip. You can actually see that she's bitten so hard into her lip. It's like bleeding a little bit.
Hey, you don't gotta tell me.
Her head is facing down. She kind of like looks up at you and she goes, "You weren't warned beforehand?"
I'm coming in as fresh as a newborn babe.
It's almost as if like the rest of the bar has gotten like a little bit quieter, as if like the mention of the next day like has like dulled everything down. Just hear like gentle creaking of like chairs and glasses. She goes, "There's some things that we just don't want to deal with," we'll say. All I'll say is, and she like leans down a little bit, but you can, as she begins to open her mouth, you hear the creaking of like a chair in the back from like the poker table. One of the players, man, dark skin, very short stature, like stands up and like in a booming voice just goes, "We don't talk about that sort of stuff here." He's an older man, grayish beard, hair closely chopped, a little bit of freckles on his like deep skin, and like Sharma like snaps her mouth shut. She just kind of like takes like the dishes and like anything that's there, and she goes, This is all on the house tonight. Just if you want something, you can stop in while I'm restocking. Just everything's closed tomorrow." She like takes the stuff and like rushes away.
Winifred's gonna yell out, "Is it monsters? You got vampires? You got werewolves?"
Sharma like stops and she like turns over to you. And she's like, you see like her hand pointing and just get, like dead serious, just get.
She'll raise her hands in surrender and then grab her stuff and leave like, "Okay, I'm sorry."
Eduardo couldn't tell who she was pointing to, so he just kind of like gathers his things and just starts slowly walking towards the door as well to not cause a scene.
Ford, he grabs the drunk. Wyatt will reach out, take out some money. He's gonna take an empty glass and he'll leave $1 on the counter. Kind of nod to Blanche.
Like she makes a little gesture like, no, you don't have to.
Yeah, he'll do like the handout, like, please.
She'll give the head nod and like give you like a little wave as you get ready to leave.
Grab the old man and start walking out.
As you go towards the door, you can feel as like the depression in like the floor, because it's an old wooden floor. You would feel if somebody walked behind you. You do not see them. And for the rest of you, either you have left already, or like in Cyrus' cases, your head is down at the bar. You can feel like somebody walking past you. As they do, you can feel like their arm like brush against your back and just very faintly whisper to you, you can hear, "Look out the window tomorrow when sundown happens." And they're just gone. Corner of your eye, you just see a figure cloaked in black before they shuffle back into the saloon to wherever it may be. You cannot catch them before they're out of sight.
Wyatt will kind of eyes follow him as they go. And then as he starts walking again, he'll... The fuck were you mixed up in, bitch?